In this video, I'll be illustrating how you can create a comment in Python programming language for the sake of explanation in your code. As programs get bigger and more complicated, they get more difficult to read. Formal language are dense, which means they don't actually have the ability to tell you what they actually meant. And it is often difficult to look at a piece of code and figure out what it is doing and why it is doing that. So for this reason, it is a good idea to add notes to your program to explain in natural language which woman can actually understand what the program is doing. The notes are called comments. So to put a comment in our code, we begin with hash symbol, which is asterisk here, hash symbol here. So this is just noting that okay, for whatever I'm going to be having on this line will actually be a comment in Python, then followed by the message which you want to pass across, and this message will be written in natural language, English language, or the language that will be used in communicating any information or what the code below is going to actually do. So here it says this code here will be computing the percentage of hours that has elapsed, and here I have a variable percentage which equal to 16 minutes multiplied by 100 then divided by 60. So this code here will be calculating the percentage of hour that has elapsed. So now let's go into our code and see how we can actually create a comment in Python. Here I have I'm in my VS Code, and I just have to create a new file. Here I name it comment.py, and as we know that when creating any Python program, we actually name the file with an extension of .py. So now I'm in my comment.py file. Here what I have to do next is just to write something that I can actually display to the screen first. So to do that, I'll just say okay, let's print a statement that will only print my first name here. So I just have to print my first name, and that is all about this. That's what this code just does. It just prints my first name to the screen, and to do that I have to run the program here in my terminal window. And to do that I just have to type Python, then the name of file that I'm trying to run. So the name of the file is comment.py. So I press enter and it outputs my first name Salami, which is what I pass in as the argument in my print function. So coming back up here, I want to create a program that does something. Let's say for instance I want to write just a simple statement that does something, which is percentage, checking for the percentage. Then it says minutes multiplied by 100 then divided by 60, which means I have to first create a variable minute to work with. So I have minute so that I can reference it from here. Minutes should equal to how many minutes have I used. Let's say for instance I have used 75 minutes. So here it's going to be saying okay, 75 multiplied by 100, which will give 750, then divided by 60. So I have used 75 minutes, and this percentage will be calculating it in percentage, saying okay, the minute that I have used multiplied by 100 then divided by 60 to know how many hours in percentage I have used already. So now I come back up here, because the code I just write here is just saying minutes is equal to 75. That means I'm creating a new variable minute, then I'm initializing it with a value, an integer value, which is 75 here. So I just it's not explanatory enough for anyone who is looking at this code. And I also have a variable here that is calculating for the percentage. So I just have to actually put a comment, and to put a comment in my code I just have to look at what is actually done here by saying okay, this code is taking a minute from someone, getting minute and checking for the percentage of time that have elapsed. I'll say okay, get minute in natural language, get minute and check for the percentage of time that has elapsed. So let's look at what this actually does. I have a message here which normally is supposed to be printed to the screen, but it's not gonna do that because I have already notes on this line that okay, whatever I'll be having on this line will be a comment by using this hash symbol. So this is what I actually have here. I initialize a variable and another variable, but it's not actually going to print anything to the script because it doesn't have any virtual effect. So to save my program here, and I go back into my terminal to run that file again, python, then comment the name of the file, comments.py. It only print out salami because I'm not actually printing out any of this value. So to output any of this value, I can just say okay, using my print statement to output this value. Then what am I trying to output? I'm outputting my percentage variable without quote, because as I can see here, percentage is something that I've already created here, which is a variable, and here percentage is being called using the print function. If this is in a quote, then it will be printing this percentage as a word and not the value that percentage will be holding after this computation has been done. So I save my file and I come down here to run the program again to see the effect. After printing my first name, then it outputs the minutes that I've actually used in percentage, dividing it by 60. So this line here has already explained what this code is actually doing. And also I can just say, if this is doing this, then let me just say another comment here, which means I can not only have a full line comment, I can also have a comment on a line where some part of the code will be run and other parts will be ignored by the Python interpreter. So I can also have a comment here by typing that hash symbol and saying whatever I want, maybe creating a variable and initializing it with value and giving it a value. So yeah, I'm creating a variable and giving it a value of 75, and that is what this line of code actually does. So I won't be having any problem with this because this line will be ignored by Python because it is starting with what the hash symbol, which is noting that the rest of this line of code is a comment which should be ignored by the Python interpreter. So to run this program again, I just come up here to run the program, then I'm still getting the same output without this having any effect. But for instance, if I leave this out, then as you can see, the highlighting that we have previously is no longer there, and it is showing that I'm having some errors here, error that occur here. But that's not what I want. So I can comment out some code using this hash symbol. That's single line comment. In Python, it doesn't happen that we only have a single line comment. We can also have multi-line comment. Let's say for instance, I want to get these two values. I want to write a comment that will just tell me about what this program is going to actually do, but it will span over multiple lines. Then I can just say okay, instead of me having this, I can also have it creating it on multiple line like this, starting with this hash symbol on multiple line. But it is not always ideal. If that is what I want, I can just get back to doing it this way by putting it in quotes, but this quote here I'll be using three quotes to show that this is a comment, and I'll also be using three quotes at the other hand to say that okay, this is a comment but it's in string format. Whereas if we have any string that is not assigned to any variable, then it will be ignored by the Python interpreter. So this particular code here can go on multiple line without having any problem because it is being enclosed by this string literal here in Python. So the interpreter will ignore this line of code and continue with whatever it has to compute here. And as you can see, the color here has already changed, noting that this is not going to be taking effect in our Python code. So now to save my file and come back to my interpreter here to check what the code is actually doing, I come back to run the file. Then actually it's still doing the same thing because for now it's only printing my first name and it ignore whatever I have here, even though it's span multiple line and not beginning with the hash symbol. But since it is enclosed in these three quotes, then it is regarded as comment up to the end of this statement. So that is comment in Python, and we can look at some other examples here, which this is also on the line comment, but it is being ignored, but this first statement is being read by the Python interpreter. So that's about comment. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you.